Happy Saturday to you folks. Good afternoon. I don't know what your Saturday was like, but you probably make a pretty good guess. Most of you are probably like I am. Saturday's a day to get some kind of work done around the house. And I did that today. Worked outside a little bit. It's been a beautiful, beautiful day. Got a little housework to do here in a little bit, but right now we're going to go to our Psalm reading tonight. Again, my name is Gerald. I'm here with Innovate Church in Kannapolis, North Carolina. I've been doing this a few nights now just to always just pray that it's a blessing and encouragement to those that get to hear it. So tonight's psalm comes to us from Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evildoers assail me to eat up my flesh, my adversaries and foes, it is they who stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war arise against me, yet I will be confident. One thing have I asked of the Lord, that I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. For he will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent. He will lift me high upon a rock. And now my head shall be lifted up above my enemies all around me, and I will offer in his tent sacrifices with shouts of joy. I will sing and make melody to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry aloud. Be gracious to me and answer me. You have said, seek my face. My heart says to you, your face, Lord, do I seek. Hide not your face from me. Turn not your servant away in anger. O you have been my help. Cast me not off, forsake me not, O God of my salvation. For my father and mother have forsaken me, but the Lord will take me in. Teach me your way, O Lord, and lead me on a level path, because of my enemies. Give me not up to the will of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, and they breathe out violence. I believe that I shall look upon the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. Friends, what a good word for today. Knowing that, most of us have not been able to gather together in a church. I always, throw out that reminder that we are the church. The church is just a building that we gather at. But yet most of us long to be able to come back together again and see friends and family and our church family. And that's great. To be able to be back in what we normally call the house of the Lord, the place where we go to worship. Most of us gather on Sunday. Most of us miss that. Even I miss that. Even as much as I may preach that, we at the church and here at Innovate, one of our things most important is to be out in our community. And we were so looking forward to doing that this summer. And I'm praying we get to do that again. But I still miss the gathering. And here David, he shares his love for how much he loves being in the temple. And it said, one thing have I asked of the Lord that I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life. I know David, spent a lot of time traveling and moving about as well, so I'm sure he wasn't quite as able to go to the temple as often as he might would have wanted to either. And as he's running from people, or as he's hiding from people, just like many of us are kind of hiding, quote unquote, from this virus and taking, trying to keep our distance as they've asked us to do. Many of us are missing that gathering together, and it seems like a dark time for us. And so I love verse 14, the way that David ends this, knowing that he too was not able to go to the temple or be in the temple as often as he wanted to. He says, wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. Friends, that's a great word for us today too. We know that one day we're going to be able to gather again. We know that one day we're going to be able to have cookouts again, invite our neighbors over, meet down at the park, all these good things we get to do on beautiful days like today. But until that time comes, we are to wait on the Lord, to trust in Him, and to know that He's still with us. We're still the church. And one day we'll be back in the house of the Lord, so to speak. But until that time, let me remind you, your house is the house of the Lord if you worship the Lord and if you speak about the Lord there. Remember the other week we talked about our bodies being the temple of the Holy Spirit. So we are walking temples. So remember that and hang on to that, and again, wait on the Lord and know that He's still there with you. You don't have to be in a certain building to know that the Lord is with you. Friends, I hope it's been a good blessing for you today. Hope you found encouragement in this word. And as always, if so, why don't you share it with a friend? That's always my heart, just that somebody else is encouraged by this. And I pray you have a lovely weekend. Have a good evening.